Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Pete Wishart is, of course, the SNP's longest serving MP at Westminster, and come the 5th of July, when the results are coming in, I do hope that will be the end of it. I do hope he is beaten and that he can go off and look to pastures new. He'll probably retire given his great age. But he is not representing the people of his constituency, so maybe they will get tired of him. Maybe they will get rid of him. He has come out and made a claim that retail, he's saying, is dead. Retail is never coming back. Retail is not something that they need to consider in future. And I'm sure this will please everybody who works on the high street, whether they're the business owners, whether they're the managing the company, managing the shops, or just, part-time casual staff. Young people who often look to these sort of retail jobs for their Saturday jobs or whatever over the weekend as sometimes their first job. It's their first step into their work careers. Or it's a job that they do while they're sort of going through university or some such. They are important jobs. They're not nothing, right? They do give that initial step. And for some people, it is an important part of their lives. It's how some people get out, meet people, do something, interact. For some people, their jobs are everything. What one may, consider to be a, quote, small job, a minor job, is, as I say, for some people, an absolute lifeline. But Pete Wishart is basically casting it off and saying that they're not important anymore. It's a changed world. And he insists that everybody buys online now. Well, maybe a lot of people do, but it doesn't mean that shops aren't important. There's some things you don't buy online. Food, for example, you don't buy that online. Not good food, Takeaways, yeah, you got to, just eat and things. But when it comes to proper food, wholesome food, you won't buy that online. There's some products you wouldn't buy online. There's some things you want to actually try on or feel the width or see and things like that. And so, yes, shops are still important. But there he is in Perthshire, their MP, and he's been accused by people there of not backing the retail industry. And of course, he isn't. And this is palpably true. He belongs to a party that was given many, many, many millions of pounds to pass on to particularly retail businesses, high street businesses, to reduce their non-domestic rates. That happened in England and Wales and Northern Ireland. They all got it and they all used it. And for these business owners, it was a lifeline. But the SNP decided, no, thank you very much for all that money for all these online, for all these retail businesses at the SNP. Yeah, sure, great. We won't be spending it on them. We won't be helping our businesses. We won't be keeping the high street viable. No. We'll spend this on independence. And that's what they did. And so Scottish high streets suffer. Businesses go under, sometimes for very small amounts of money. For example, the amount of money that could have been saved by having those non-domestic rates reduced with all the money given to them for specifically that reason. And so for Pete Wishart to come out and say, oh, well, retail's dying on its feet kind of thing. Well, yes, Pete, but it's your party that is, effectively giving the coup de grace and doing the final cull to put it out of its misery with every single ideological policy that you bunch of psychopaths can conjure up. What have you got against retail industry? What have you got against the high street? Did you have a bad experience once in a shop and you think that, oh, well, all shops are evil or something? Because no, not everybody shops online. Some people like shops. I enjoy going to shops. Gets me out the house. Some days, as someone who sits in YouTube, sometimes going up to Little Asda, as we call it, is the only thing I do of a day that gets me out the door. Not every day, some days. I call it Little Asda. We have a big Asda and a Little Asda. The Little Asda's the nearest one. It's just like half the size, about a third of the size of big Asda. But, we go in, shop. Which one? Asda. Big or little? Little Asda. me and my wife. It's a typical interaction. That's when she's not telling me off, But shops are important. Like I say, it's a form of employment, and for not backing them means you're just basically getting rid of all these people, taking jobs away, jobs that they pay tax on, that they pay income tax on to keep the likes of Pete Wishart, employed. He's employed at taxpayers' expense. If those people aren't there, they're not contributing in tax, but they are taking out benefits. The country is poorer. This is the problem with the likes of Pete Wishart. He doesn't understand the economics of jobs. People don't have to have brilliant, high-paid jobs. Any job keeps them gainfully employed, adds tax to the tax take, and means there's no benefits going out. Morons like Wishart just don't get it. But it's worse than not getting it, of course. It's when you have policies actively destroying these jobs, as indeed the SNP do. He did try to stop, to sort of pass it off. He says, well, blah, 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 blah. He says, I do try to shop locally, he says. Don't believe a word of it. I bet he has his little age running online and going, Amazon this, Amazon that, eBay, that'd be it. And you shouldn't really, because that's just money in this country going straight across to America. Buy in this country, keep the money here. Shop locally. We have a little hardware store. Sure, it's a little bit more expensive than B&Q, but B&Q is quite some way away, and if you need sometimes, you just need to nip down the road. I like my little hardware store, things like that. Shop locally. Don't give it all to Amazon. And don't destroy businesses, Pete, by removing from them all the aid that they could get simply so you can wank it away on pretendy embassies and keeping Angus flying in first class as he goes around the world for no reason whatsoever. Give the money to the businesses, keep them alive. Don't be sitting there telling people you're not. But it's just a typical narrative of the SNP, isn't it? We don't really give a shit, We don't care. As long as we're all right, that's all it is. Well, come July the 4th, let's tell them. Let's show them what we think of them. Let's say, do you know what? Retail isn't dead, but I tell you what is. The SNP. Wishart. You're gone. You've got to go. People of Perthshire, you know which way to vote. Get Wishart out and make sure he understands the importance of a little shop job, because it might be the only one he has. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care. Speak soon. Let me know what you think. And goodbye.